Hi, my name is Roger Slater. This video is about the least profitable businesses during a recession. I've already done one about the more profitable businesses, but these are businesses that are not going to do well during a recession. And you may think that if you're in that business now, or if you're going, if you're thinking about starting that business, these are ones that you probably want to avoid, when a recession is near or coming. I know a lot of times you can't really tell, but sometimes you can. The economy may be entering a recession, and during a recession, these businesses are particularly exposed to the downturn and may face large challenges to maintain their sales and earnings. These are 7 examples of businesses that do not usually do well during economic recessions. Now they can, but most of them do not. The first one would be luxury goods and high-end retail. When consumers tighten their belts, discretionary spending on luxury goods and high-end retail tends to decline. Luxury items and non-essential products are often the first to be cut from individuals' budgets during a recession. I mean, these could be, if you're a woman, you don't buy the really nice, purses, the Coaches or whatever. You might not buy the really, really nice coat or dress. And if you're a guy, you might, sometimes during hunting season, actually hunters will go out and buy a brand new gun. That's a big deal. Go buy a brand new gun to go ahead and hunt that deer or whatever. A lot of times they won't. They'll just keep with what they got, or maybe even use an older one. Maybe use their dad's. So anyway, a lot of times people make do with what they got. They do not buy those high-end things, high-end goods. They'll go ahead and either they'll trade down, or they will go ahead and just do without or do with something they already have. Travel and tourism. Travel and tourism industry is highly susceptible to economic downturns. During recessions, people tend to cut back on travel expenses, including vacations, business trips, and leisure activities. This can be a severe impact on airlines, hotels, restaurants, travel agencies. During a recession, people just stop going on vacations. Travel expenses, travel isn't done even for business trips, and a lot of times leisure activities are cut. So it can have a severe impact on these type of industries. And so keep that in mind. And a lot of times, I'm not saying you're going to own an airline or own a hotel, but you may have an offshoot of that does business with those. And keep that in mind if you do. Number 3 would actually be the real estate and construction. Economic recessions often lead to a slowdown in the real estate and construction sectors. Reduced consumer spending, declining property values, and tightening credit conditions make it really difficult for developers and contractors and real estate agents to survive. And examples of this would be during the 2008, that was during the big housing crisis. But anyway, it was pretty noticeable. Construction projects stopped. People that were in the construction agency went to do other things. And that's partly why years later you didn't have as many people in construction, because most of those people left. They left that industry during, 08 to 12. They just absolutely left that industry. So anyway, and it is, and you always think about, like, if you bought a property, an income property, and you're leasing it out, and people don't think about those property values going down. But I've heard from bankers before that sometimes that property may go down 50%. If you have a property and it goes down 50%, you're basically don't have, you don't own what you did. Your net worth goes down. And it's a little, and then a lot of times you have competing buildings that actually start decreasing the rent, and you may have to decrease your rent. So there's a lot of things that can happen during a recession to into real estate and construction. Number 4 would be the automotive industry. The automotive industry has always been susceptible to economic conditions, as consumers typically postpone big ticket purchases during recessions. car manufacturers, dealerships, sometimes automotive suppliers, not as much for the parts. When I'm talking suppliers to dealerships and to car manufacturers. But, actually the one, some of the auto zones and stuff, I've heard they do extremely well, during recessions. But the people just don't, during a recession, if you don't know if you're going to get laid off, maybe you are laid off. You don't know if if your expenses are going to go up, you don't buy a brand new car. You don't, may not even get a car at all. You just make do with what you got. So anyway, this impacts car manufacturers, it impacts dealerships, and a lot of the offshoots of those industries, which are many. There's a whole lot of businesses that do business touching those companies. So anyway, number 5 would be high interest lending and credit services. And during recessions, people and businesses, they struggle to repay loans and credit card debt, leading to higher default rates. Companies involved in high interest lending or credit services do experience the same thing, increased delinquencies and defaults, impacting their profitability. So, you can even be a bank, you can be, a credit card company, you could be, any businesses that deal with those, or that, deal with loans or interest, you can be hurt during those times, in recessionary times, because people, your default rate goes up, people stop paying on stuff. It is not good. So anyway, and it depends on the recession. It depends, if you have a light one, then it's not that bad. If you have a deep, prolonged recession, then it is not good. Number 6 would be non-essential entertainment and leisure. Businesses in the entertainment and leisure sector, such as movie theaters, amusement parks, recreational facilities, they often see a decline in customer spending during recessions. People prioritize essential needs over discretionary activities, and this leads to reduced demand for non-essential entertainment. You see it a lot of times in a recession. People don't go to movies as much. Amusement parks can suffer. Sometimes they don't suffer as much because people, instead of going to, instead of taking a trip out to California or out to the Grand Canyon or to the ocean or something like that, sometimes they'll just stay in town and go to their local amusement park if you have one. So sometimes they can pick up a lot of local business that would be out of town. But overall, amusement parks, recreational facilities, they often see a decline in customer spending during recessions. And some of that is the other things that are sold. Like if you're a movie theater, you're selling popcorn, you're selling soda, you're selling all sorts of candy and all sorts of stuff. People may come and see the movie, but they don't buy the other stuff. So it can still impact you. Number 7 would be luxury dining and high-end restaurants. Fine dining establishments, especially upscale restaurants, are often hit hard during recessions. Customers tend to opt more for affordable dining options or cut back on dining out altogether. Sometimes they just stay home and fix a meal there. I mean, I know people nowadays don't know how to fix food like they used to, not like Mom used to do. But anyway, they will start staying home a lot more and fixing meals at home. The other thing is they may go ahead and trade down and go to like a McDonald's or something like that, which sometimes increases those fast food businesses, because they do better because people are not going to the sit-down restaurants and they're going to those instead. Anyway, the profitability of business during a recession could vary depending on factors such as the harshness and the length of the economic downturn, your specific market conditions, and the business's ability to see these factors and make necessary adjustments, to improve the sales and earnings of the company. Making adjustments for a company is a really big deal. Some make it just because they made, little quirks here and there, make changes here and there to make things better. So anyway, my name is Roger Schleter. If you like this type of content, please subscribe and hit the bell to be notified. It's a hard word to say sometimes, of future videos. If this video helped you at all, I hope you would like the video. And again, my name is Roger Schleter, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.